Welcome back to TV5 News at 9. It's now time for Aging in Style with our great friend Joe Vitale from Vitale Wealth Management. Joe, it's good to see you.
Good morning, Sarah. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Doing great.
Good. And don't forget to get Joe's newsletter, Financial Vitals. It has all the latest market trends and the financial news that you need to know. Just scan that QR code right there on your screen to get all the information that you need to know. Let's go ahead and jump into today's topic, something all of us want to know.
Yes.
Post-election expectations. So what can we expect from the market with the results of the current election?
You're going to see, I think what you're going to see is based on prior elections. You're going to see some volatility. You're going to see initial response because of the strategies that we're going to see. We're going to see the market responds favorably when you have deregulation. So that's initially what you're going to see. You're going to see a lot of people very positive on it. And then you're going to see it kind of settle in. How's it going to be on this policy, this policy? So you start to see oil prices are going to come down. You're going to see different things happen, and it's going to be, it is, especially when Congress gets in, you've got both sides and you got that. So you're going to see a little volatility, but it's already starting to go up, intentionally because of that. Because you're going to, and it's still up in the air because we don't know. But all the headwinds are for increased growth right now.
Okay. And Joe, why did we see such a spike in the market after the election?
Well, it was actually baked in originally. If you saw a lot of the betting odds, which is really weird that you can bet on a presidential election, right?
Yeah.
But all the Vegas and all the betting odds they were showing that Trump was in the lead. And when that happened, the market said, oh, well, that's going to be good for deregulation. That's going to be good for company earnings, which is how the market is driven. So that was already the headwind. We already started to go up. And then when he got in, what you see is they go, oh, my goodness, now we're going to start to see pro-growth. Because what happens is he's going to cut taxes. They love cutting taxes on corporations, right? Why? Because when you cut taxes on the corporations, what does that do? That's going to give you more earnings. That's going to give you more growth. That's going to give you more expansion. So it's good all the way through. So of course the market responds favorably to that, and that's why the big bump right off the bat.
And Joe, tell us, what suggestions do you have for us who are trying to plan for the future as it pertains to our tax planning?
For tax planning, the one thing is Trump did that first rollback back in 2017, which is going to expire in 2026. So as far as tax planning, we've been always planning that, my gosh, this is going to expire in 2026. We're in the lowest tax bracket environment we've ever been. So we really need to start planning to do some Roth conversions, look for tax-free strategies down the road, because we know taxes are going to go up. They have to. It's also a little scary, right? Because the last few years we've seen a lot of spending because of COVID and other things happening. We've got $7 trillion of spending. We got a bunch of debt. So historically, when that happens, what happens? You're going to have increased taxes to pay for that. Nobody wants that.
Yeah.
We don't want to increase taxes. So we've been looking at, especially for retirement, where most of our retirees, their biggest nest egg is in their 401k. Well, when they start pulling that out, it's all taxable, right? It's like, oh, I won't care. I won't be in a high tax bracket. But when you look at taxes on Social Security, when you look at all this other stuff, you're going to be paying a lot of taxes.
Yeah.
So we've been doing a lot of tax planning ahead of time and trying to look at tax-free strategies. We're still going to go forward with that, even though we have confidence that Trump's going to not repeal or not let them expire. He'll renew them. So we think that we'll still stay in the lower tax bracket. However, down the road, we still are very bullish in staying to the point where we got to look at tax-free strategies, because one way or another, you're going to pay tax, and we got to make sure that we pay it as little as possible.
Yeah. And Joe, what is the biggest impact on retirement?
Inflation right now, inflation and taxes right now. A lot of people, the taxes aren't so bad. Our whole idea and our whole goal is we never want to see people pay tax on their Social Security. But over 34,000, they're paying tax on. 85% of it's taxable. So that's part of it. And then inflation, the inflation's just been ridiculous lately, right? I mean, my gosh, $5 for a dozen eggs.
Yeah.
Why is that even a conversation? So a lot of our retirees are going to the store and they're like, my gosh, I can't keep up. $3.50 for a gallon of gas, or $3.29, when it's down. So we're going to see that. I think we're going to see inflation go down, but still, that's been a huge impact for our retirees. The inflation's just been horrible, but I think we're going to start to see that come down.
What about Social Security? Should people be worried right now?
Not at all. I'm really confident about that. You know, there's a lot of, I've looked at a lot of the pending legislation and everything and what they're talking about already. We shouldn't see any cuts to Social Security. The biggest thing is especially Gen Xers, you know, who are coming up for, you know, in their 50s, the oldest is now the 59. It's like Social Security, you know, is that something that we're going to get, right? And I still think so. However, we got to get the younger kids to work so that they can start funding the Social Security like the Gen Xers did for the baby boomers who are getting it all now, right? So I mean, we can't put our head in the sand and say there's no problem with Social Security because the baby boomers are all retiring right now, and they are the largest one, and they all paid into Social Security, and now they're taking it. So the next generation is supposed to help with the funding of it, right? So hopefully we start to see some of the kids help with that too.
I'm doing my part, Joe.
That's right. I know you are. I know you are. We gotta get more people like you. So that's the biggest thing, because that's what we need, and especially it's like a lot of times all that free money with people sitting on the back and not going to work, you know. So I think we're going to start seeing more and more of that. I'm not real worried about the Social Security system. Those are some of the entitlements that, not really entitlements because we all paid into it. You know what I mean? So it's like those are things that those are ways that those can get fixed. Those can get solved. But moving forward, I'm not too concerned.
And with presidential elections, people just always get nervous on both sides. What should people know if they just want to stay the course?
You just keep your head, keep your emotions out of your investments. That's the biggest one, right? You do the disciplined approach, you do the dollar cost averaging, you make sure the money's growing. And a lot of times I had people right before the election, I mean, I can't tell you how many, said, Joe, you know, put it in cash, because if this happens, I'm like, you know what, no. And the reason is you're not going to be able to respond quick enough. You know, it's like, well, Joe, you should do what your client wants. I'm here to keep my client's head, right? Because we all get emotionally charged. So I said, just trust it, And sure enough, if I would have had it in cash, we would have missed a huge 5% uptick. You know, and you can't respond quick enough. That's the same thing with COVID. When COVID happened, the market went down and people freaked out. They couldn't get back in quick enough. So you never get the emotions. You have enough cash on hand. You have your 3 to 6 months emergency fund. You keep your money growing, and you don't make emotional decisions on your money.
Joe, thanks for being our voice of reason.
I try. Thank you so much.
Well, before we go, don't forget to get Joe's newsletter, market updates and more through his newsletter, Financial Vitals. And if you want more information on today's topic, head on over to the Aging in Style page on WNEM.com.